as the landscape of cinema continues to change and the film industry diversifies its roles for women, what has your experience been like so far as a female director?
Slightly worried that I would get into this and tell people I was doing this and get some weird looks and hear like, oh, you're directing. And I wanted people to understand that I didn't want to be pushed around. I didn't want people to think I was less of for being a woman making a big short film. But as I started and went through this process, I realized I picked a team who didn't question that. They weren't trying to one-up me or question my abilities at all. And I felt like I had made a set that was very mixed with males and females. And it felt equal. And it didn't feel like someone was more of or less of. It didn't feel like I had to prove myself. I felt very comfortable and it felt normal, which I think it should feel normal. I don't think it should even be like a question of like, oh my gosh, a female director. I think it should just be like, oh yeah, of course you are. Of course you are. I think that's with everything that you do. I think it's like, wow, I don't ever want it in the future for anybody's job to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you are a female doing this job. It just should just be like, yeah, great, get the job done. Because that's what it is.
No, and that's how it should be, really. And that's how really I see it. Like when you see a film or when you're on set, like you said it, you don't really say, oh, she's a female director. Like you don't think of it like that. The reason why I asked that question is because, like I was discussing before the podcast, is from my experience. Yeah, I've met female directors. I've been in classes with them, workshops. I've even collaborated with them. I've helped them make some projects. But again, it's not as frequent as a male director. And that's just, again, maybe my perception. So when I saw that, what I do is I assess the film. I look into it. I learn more about it, talk to Eric about it. And then I sit myself down and I say, because again, I'm a writer director, and I say to myself, wow, she's a writer director. It doesn't change the fact that you're a woman. But it's interesting to know, like, that's amazing. You know what I mean? That you're coming into this industry, like you said, where you're worried that someone's going to think of you less than. And I believe it's courageous in a way where you didn't think of that. And anyone that had objections, you're happy to say, I'll find someone else. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to conform to those.
Absolutely.
Right. Those ideologies. Yeah. So I think it's so important that you said that. And it goes back to staying true to the vision, right? Staying true to the project. Again, Eric Tomje, coming on board, definitely, I know him, did not see you as a female director. He saw you as an artist, and he saw you as someone that wants to execute a vision, because I know his work ethic, and that's what makes him great. And I bring him up because, again, he's a producer, and producers, we know in Hollywood, we hear stories all the time where they could, get a project, they can manipulate yourself into thinking, it's not good, or maybe do something different. Maybe even get to the point of getting a different director entirely, right? Maybe just keeping you as a writing credit. But the fact that he wanted to see the vision all the way through with you, that's a huge testament to the project and to the team behind it.